HR told me to shut up and move on, after I reported my manager for harassing me. They thought they could bury my voice, hide the truth, and protect their golden boy. What they didn't know: I don't bury easily. And when I was done, the same HR team that tried to silence me had their faces plastered across every local news channel. If you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, or told to just let it go, then this story will hit hard. Hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because today's story is pure, poetic justice. I wasn't new at the company. 3 years in, solid track record, always hit my targets. But when my new manager, let's call him Ryan, took over my department, things changed overnight. Ryan was the type of guy who thought the office was his kingdom. He'd stand too close, comment on how I looked better when I smiled, and drop these little jokes that weren't jokes at all. You know the kind, where you're left laughing awkwardly just to avoid conflict. I brushed it off at first. But then, his comments got bolder. Touches on my shoulder that lingered too long. Whispers in meetings. A joke about me getting promoted if I played nice. The final straw? During a team dinner, he leaned in and said, "You'd be more valuable if you learned how to please your boss." Loud enough that people heard. I froze. Embarrassment. Fury. But mostly, shame. The next morning, I marched into HR. I spilled everything. My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. The HR rep, a woman named Linda, listened, took notes, and then sighed. She leaned back and said, "Look, Ryan is important to the company. You don't want to risk your career over this. My advice? Keep your head down, let it slide. Let it slide." I felt my chest tighten. They weren't protecting me. They were protecting him. And when I insisted, she gave me this sharp look and said, "If you keep pushing this, it could make you look like the problem." That was the moment I realized. HR wasn't on my side. They weren't neutral. They were the company's shield. And I was supposed to just stay quiet. But I couldn't. That night, I sat in my apartment, staring at the ceiling. My stomach was in knots. My mind replayed her words, "It could make you look like the problem." No. He was the problem. They were just covering for him. I wasn't going to be their silent casualty. If they wanted me quiet, I'd do the opposite. I started gathering evidence. I documented everything: emails, Slack messages where he made jokes, my own journal with dates and times of incidents. I even reached out to former coworkers. And you know what? 2 of them admitted they'd left the. I didn't confront HR again. Instead, I went to an employment lawyer. She listened, nodded, and said, "They silenced the wrong person." With her help, we filed a complaint, not just against Ryan, but against the company for negligence and hostile work environment. But we didn't stop there. She advised me to reach out to a journalist who specialized in workplace misconduct. At first, I hesitated. Going public? That was terrifying. But then I remembered Ryan's smirk. Linda's dismissive tone. Their arrogance. I wasn't just doing this for me anymore. I was doing it for everyone they'd silenced. The article dropped 2 weeks later. Headline: Fortune 500 company accused of protecting harassing manager. My story was front and center, but so were the stories of others. Former employees came forward. Anonymous quotes. A damning picture of a culture where HR buried complaints to protect their own. Within hours, the company's PR team was scrambling. Within days, the local news picked it up. Cameras outside the office. Headlines trending on Twitter. And guess who was named? Ryan. And Linda. The same HR director who told me to stay quiet, had her face plastered on the 6 o'clock news, dodging questions as reporters chased her to her car. Ryan was suspended pending investigation. But the damage was done. His reputation? Gone. His career? Over. Linda? She resigned within a week. The company made a public statement, but it was too late, the world had already judged them. And me? I didn't just get justice. I got freedom. For the first time in months, I could breathe without that weight pressing on my chest. I hadn't just spoken up, I'd made sure they could never silence me again. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button, and tell me in the comments, have you ever seen someone get exposed after trying to bury the truth? And of course, subscribe for more stories of betrayal, justice, and revenge.